Joining us now from Atlanta, Ralph Reed, chairman of the Faith and Freedom Coalition and author of the novel Ballots and Blood. And here in the studio, Kathy Aru, a contributing editor for the Washington Post magazine. So, Mr. Aru, was that a smart political move?
For the short term, yes. Evangelicals and born-agains are the ones who do come out to the primaries and make up about 50% of the voters. So for the short term, yes, pandering to this group is the way to go.
Pandering, loaded word.
Right.
Loaded word,
right.
pandering.
Right.
I mean, if he believes it, it's not pandering.
Does he believe it? We don't know if he believes it.
Well, his history is that he's a very spiritual guy. He always does this kind of thing. You know that. Come on.
His history is he's a politician. I mean, maybe this is what it has taken to
Do you
get
really
into
believe that
office.
using the word pandering was fair, Ms. Aru?
I do. I do.
Okay, all right.
I do.
So you say that it is smart because in the primary process, conservative Christians make a big difference, but in the long run, it will alienate independents?
Right now, they're about 50 to 60% of the votes. The voters who come out for these primaries are evangelicals and born-agains. But when you come to the bigger elections, yes, the independents are the ones who are going to count, and you're not going to get them singing this tune.
That is the prevailing wisdom, Mr. Reed, that, you know, for a primary play in Iowa and maybe South Carolina, other conservative states, this is a good political move by the governor. But if he does get the nomination, he's going to be demonized as, you know, one of these right-wing guys who's going to intrude and put Christian values above everything else. You know the game. They did it with JFK. They did it, you know, continuing on from there. So was it smart politically?
I think it was very smart. And I think beyond that, Bill, I think if you look at the text of his remarks at Liberty University, it's a statement of genuine authenticity. He's clearly speaking from his heart. He wasn't attacking anybody else's faith. He wasn't denigrating anybody else. It was a very positive, spiritual expression of his own faith journey. And by finding faith in God through Christ, how he was able to find meaning and direction for his own life.
Okay, but let me challenge that.
Bill, that can't be assailed by an opponent or by a special interest group.
I happen to agree with you. I think Mr. Perry is sincere, and Mr. Aru has some doubts, but I think he's sincere. But you may know this. I'm a Catholic, Roman Catholic guy, and I believe, you know, fundamentally the way you believe and the way that Governor Perry believes. However, by telling the entire country that Christian values are how the country should be run, you are kind of narrowing it down. Now the Christian guys are going to go, yeah, now, you know, we like that. But other people who aren't Christian might say, I don't want to be excluded from this. He's the president of the United States. He should represent everybody.
I wouldn't really agree with that, Bill, for this reason. Number one, the independents, who are going to represent about 1 out of every 5 voters, they're going to vote based on the economy and jobs.
No, but let's do it.
They're not going to be going to the polls.
That may be
they're
true.
not going to be going to the polls.
But it's more than 1 out of 5. But that may be true. But let's just keep it into my question area. Is it right to exclude non-Christians from a presidency?
Well, he didn't do that.
But he said and the values that I espouse that I'm going to bring to the office are going to be Christian values.
Well, I think that what he was saying was that there are going to be values. It's only a question of what values. Are we going to honor the sanctity of life and marriage? Are we going to take care of the least and lost, but do it in a way through charity and compassion rather than top-down government management? And by the way, Bill, this isn't just about the primaries. And it's not just about the nomination. In November of last year, 32% of all voters whose shadow darkened the threshold of a voting booth in this country were either professing evangelicals or devout observant Roman Catholics, and they voted 78% Republican. So this isn't just about the primaries.
I know, but it's
also about making sure those folks turn out in the general.
All right. Now, you probably agree that that Governor Perry's statement does exclude people who don't believe in Christianity, correct?
Well, obviously,
okay.
Yes.
But isn't it true that we should be electing leaders who we believe are going to promote the belief systems that we as individuals think is best for the country? So I want him to be up top about it as long as he doesn't force people.
But this was a man that was ignoring the other issues. He didn't talk about Social Security, immigration, or the other issues.
Plenty of time to do that. Plenty of time for him to do that. He's speaking at an evangelical college. That's what he's going to talk about. Go ahead.
I think he ignored the issues and he purposely went to talk about his faith journey. Was very safe. It was perfect for this time because it's a short-term goal to try to appeal to these voters. I don't think he's going to be talking about his faith journey
Would
months
that,
from now.
would it, not just Mr. Perry, but if anybody talked about their personal faith, would that exclude you from voting for them?
Well, I believe in separation of church and state.
But don't you want to know who the person is?
Not when it comes to their religion.
You don't want to know.
No, it's none of my business.
If they're a Wiccan, you don't care.
I don't
if
care.
No. All right. Ms. Rue.
I don't think
Mr.
they're
Reed,
Wiccans.
thank you very much. Very lively debate.